My name is Ongama Mtimka, and I'm based in the Politics and Conflict Department at soon to be Nelson Mandela University. There's been a lot of debate in South Africa about the recent cabinet reshuffles by President Jacob Zuma. And the debates have centered around the rights of the president to appoint ministers and reshuffle them as and when he sees a need to where the center of power is, whether it's with the ANC or with, President Jacob Zuma himself. I think it's important to raise a few issues of concern concerning, the different approaches to interpreting the recent events. First of all, I think we need to acknowledge that in South Africa we have a representative democracy whereby we vote for political parties to get to be in parliament, and those political parties then present lists based on which they appoint their deployees to go into the National Assembly as well as in executive positions. But the executive doesn't campaign directly. We don't have a presidential system where a president can campaign and win an election. So people vote for a political party on the basis of its manifesto. Now, you have a situation in the country where President Jacob Zuma has briefed the African National Congress about the cabinet reshuffles, but there is reported to have not been agreement about the names, or at least not all the names were agreed upon. Obviously, the president then takes the constitutional right to say the Constitution of the Republic does give him a prerogative to appoint, because it says all executive authority is with the president. But here's the problem with with taking the Constitution as it is in relation to a representative democratic system, a parliamentary democratic system. It is the party which campaigned on the basis of a particular election manifesto. And as such, a cabinet reshuffle should be premised on at least the principles and the ultimately the promises which were based in the manifesto of the ANC. Now, why is this important? Well, let's look at, for example, the firing of Deputy Minister Mcebisi Jonas. We know that Mcebisi Jonas blew a whistle about 2 years ago, where he alleged that there is a apparent capturing of the state by private interests in the form of the Gupta family. Since then, the president hasn't taken up an opportunity, as presented by the public protector, to clear his name of these allegations. And therefore, it is suspect when the president, before clearing his name concerning these allegations, fires the deputy minister of finance under circumstances of this nature, because it then amounts to victimization of a whistleblower. And the ANC's, non-action on allegations of state capture can be compared to a parent who, favors one child and pities them against the other, because both the Deputy Minister of Finance and President Jacob Zuma are members of the ANC, whose constitution requires that they be treated fairly. So the ANC has failed to provide leadership and ensure that Jacob Zuma answers to the allegations of state capture. So it cannot be that the president, instead of answering the allegations, fires the whistleblower. That's where the issues are. Yes, an argument around the relationship perhaps having become unworkable, and therefore necessitating that the minister who is in disagreement with his political head of the executive, yes, that's a plausible argument. But in the bigger scheme of things, in an ANC which had campaigned in South Africa, putting crime and corruption as the top of its agenda, you would have expected for there to be decisive action which addresses the allegations of state capture so that the president's conduct and his firing and hiring of ministers may not be questionable.